You checked your bank balance this morning. It was lower than you expected. You tracked your spending last month. Nothing was obviously wrong. You make more than you did 3 years ago. You are still finishing the month empty. The raise came, the savings did not. The question keeps arriving. Where does it go? Here is what the system does not tell you. Your financial floor is not set by your income. It is set by the people in the room with you. Every social environment has a price, not a stated price, not one anyone agreed to, but a price that operates through choices nobody made consciously. Every dinner suggestion, every group holiday, every round someone else picks up this time. The environment produces a spending baseline, and you calibrate to it, not because you are weak, not because you lack discipline, but because belonging costs money, and the system is built so you never see the invoice. You get a better job, you start spending time with colleagues who earn more. The restaurants change, the events change, the gifts change. Nothing is forced, everything is gradual. 2 years later, you are earning significantly more. You are saving significantly less. The gap between those two facts stops making sense until you look at the environment, not the individual. The mechanism requires no awareness from you to function. It does not announce itself. It operates through the texture of ordinary social life. By the time you notice the financial effect, the pattern has been running for months. Social creatures calibrate to their environment. That is all the system requires. But there is something underneath this that nobody addresses directly. The spending your social circle produces is not always visible as spending. It hides inside the things that feel like connection. The weekend away that was someone else's idea, the birthday dinner at the place you would not choose alone, the wardrobe shift that happened because the room changed register and you followed without noticing. None of it is coercion. All of it is accumulation. And none of it shows up under a label that says social pressure. It shows up as your balance at the end of the month. Here is what makes it worse. The people generating this pressure are not aware they are doing it. Your friends are not adversaries. Your family is not working against you. The system produces this outcome through entirely ordinary social behavior. Nobody is at fault. The mechanism runs anyway. Here is the part nobody warns you about. The people who destabilize your finances most are often the people who love you most, because the social pull is strongest where the relationship is strongest. You would say no to an acquaintance, you say yes to a friend. That asymmetry is where the money goes, and because the relationship is genuine, the cost never feels like a financial cost. It feels like showing up. It feels like caring. And it goes deeper than that. There is a second cost the system extracts. It has nothing to do with money directly. It is the cost of permission. When everyone around you spends at a certain level, departing feels socially dangerous. Not spending feels like a statement. Saying no to the dinner feels like pulling away from the group. Not joining the trip tells people how much you value the relationship. The financial decision becomes a social signal, and so you spend. Not because you plan to, but because opting out carries a cost the bank account does not record. You are 3 months into a genuine attempt to change your financial position. You are tracking. You are building something. Then a friend suggests a weekend trip. You want to go. You also know it will set you back. The internal negotiation that follows is not really about money. It is about belonging, about what saying no means for the relationship. You go. The trip is good. The savings reset. Nothing in that sequence felt like a mistake until the statement arrived. The system extracts the permission cost before the financial cost, and because it is invisible, it never appears on any budget tracker. It never shows up as a line item, but it is the reason the tracker doesn't change the outcome. Most people are trying to close the gap between income and expenses, but that's not the real gap. The real gap is between two environments. The one you're actually in and the one you're spending is calibrated for. Income rises, the social circle shifts, the new circle has a higher baseline. Spending rises to meet it, and the distance between what you earn and what you keep stays roughly constant because the reference point moves with the income. The treadmill does not accelerate because you are undisciplined. It accelerates because the baseline always sits one step ahead of where you are. This is not a discipline problem. It's a visibility problem. The pattern runs in the background of your financial life, invisible, consistent, almost entirely automatic. Seeing it doesn't stop it immediately, but it does change the relationship between you and the system. That shift matters. The question was never whether you could afford the lifestyle. The question was whether the lifestyle was ever really a choice. When the baseline is set by the people around you, the choice was already made. You entered the room and inherited it. Recognizing this is not about withdrawing from the people you care about. It's about understanding what has been setting the terms. You were not careless. You were not impulsive. You were keeping pace with the world you were building your life inside. You made more money than you thought you would. You moved toward the people who represented where you were heading. You said yes to the things that felt like belonging. You did everything a person building a better life is supposed to do. You did everything right, and somehow that's the problem. The trap is not your spending. The trap is that your environment recalibrates every time your income does, so the finish line always sits the same distance from where you were standing. Nobody designed that outcome for you. Nobody is maintaining it consciously. The system produces it automatically. And the first thing that changes is not the spending. It's seeing clearly what has been setting the baseline all along. The system runs on 3 rules nobody explained to you. 1. Your reference group is your real budget. Whatever lifestyle your immediate social environment normalizes, your spending will trend toward it, regardless of your stated intentions or your income level. The people you eat lunch with are setting your financial floor, not your salary, not your spreadsheet. This is the first thing the system conceals, that the budget was never really yours. 2. Social belonging has a price, and that price inflates with income. As you move into higher-earning environments, the cost of membership rises with them. The number changes, the mechanism does not. Entry-level belonging costs entry-level money. Senior-level belonging costs significantly more. 3. Opting out of social spending is experienced as a social signal, not a financial decision. The system ensures the cheapest financial choice is almost always the most socially expensive one. That asymmetry is what keeps the pattern running, and it's why information alone doesn't change the outcome. The people around you are not your problem. The environment is not your enemy, but an environment you cannot see clearly is one you cannot navigate deliberately. Most of the financial pressure in your life did not arrive through your choices. It arrived through the slow accumulation of other people's normal, the reference points, the baselines, the unspoken price of belonging. None of it asked for your agreement. They established themselves quietly, across years, through thousands of ordinary moments. Once the system becomes visible, the decisions you make inside it begin to shift. The question is no longer why you can seem to get ahead. The question becomes what environment you are actually being priced by. That's a different question, and it leads somewhere the original question never could. Not easier, different. That's where everything begins to shift.